The 1754 eruption lasted for almost 7 months, and was the volcano's biggest eruption in recorded history. It buried 4 towns in Batangas province under ash, volcanic rocks and water, and ashfall as thick as 40 inches was reported in some areas. Taal Volcano is the most deadly in the Philippines, killing more than 6,000 in its history. How big is its latest eruption? Thousands have been evacuated and Manila's airport has been closed after a cloud of volcanic ash blew 65 kilometers north to the capital. Sunday's explosion, described as a magmatic eruption, could yet develop into a more violent, destructive blast. Taal Volcano erupted on Sunday afternoon, causing multiple earthquakes, lava fountains and a huge lightning-flecked cloud. More than 23,000 people have been evacuated already. That number could eventually reach 200,000. The government has set aside $50 million in emergency funding. Clouds of ash were blown about 65 kilometers north to Manila, the capital of the Philippines. Masks sold out quickly after residents were advised to wear them if they had to go out. Some wore handkerchiefs across their faces as they breathed air tainted by the smell of sulfur. Streets that would normally be snarled with some of the world's worst traffic were largely empty in the city of 13 million people. The capital's airport was closed, causing the cancellation of more than 500 flights. How strong was the eruption? Sunday's explosion, described as a magmatic eruption, could progress into a more violent, destructive blast. The Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology, PHIVOLCS, has announced Alert Level 4, indicating a hazardous explosion within hours or days. It has urged the evacuation of areas within 14 kilometers of the volcano. In a press conference, PHIVOLCS Volcano Monitoring and Prediction Division Chief Antonia Bornes said, "We can't say how strong the eruption will be. It may be as strong or stronger than historical precedents. These kinds of hazards have happened during major eruption events. It's not that high compared to typical earthquake, tsunami in open seas, but this can damage and impact people if they are on the shore," PHIVOLCS Director Dr. Renato Salitam said, estimated the waves could be between 1 and 3 meters high. What makes Taal so dangerous? Taal is the most lethal of the Philippines' 21 active volcanoes, although the country has more than 200 overall. Its eruptions have been recorded since the late 1500s, but casualties were only recorded from 1754 onwards. So far, the volcano has caused at least 6,000 deaths, according to Salitam. The eruption in 1754 lasted 7 months. That can happen. "We are closely monitoring," he said, adding that an eruption of Taal is more dangerous than an explosion of the country's other famous volcano, Mayon, because Taal can escalate faster. Taal is in fact a volcano complex, consisting of Taal Lake, the collapsed remnant of a colossal, prehistoric 6,000-meter volcano, with several islands. Most eruptions come from the largest, Volcano Island, which has a crater filled with water and its own tiny island, Vulcan Point. In other words, Taal is an island within a lake on an island in a lake, all on the island of Luzon. Taal is close to densely populated areas and readily accessible from Manila. Thousands of tourists make the trek to see Taal Lake from the famous Tagaytay Ridge, which has developed into an exclusive residential area. PHIVOLCS has designed Volcano Island a danger zone, but this has not discouraged residents settling there, effectively right on top of the volcano. In 2007, a Korean company reportedly planned to open a health spa on the island, but the government intervened to block the project. What is the worst that can happen? The 1754 eruptions were so powerful they altered the area's geography. Taal Lake was an inlet leading out to the sea, but the eruptions blocked the channel, turning the inlet into a lake and resulting in the seawater eventually becoming fresh water. Another eruption in 1911 was preceded by 2 days of earthquakes. According to science author Maria Elena Paterno, a gigantic explosion, followed a day later by several more, could be heard 200 kilometers away. The eruption killed 1,335 people in a few minutes. In Taal, red balls of fire shot up high above the crater, she wrote. A huge pillar of smoke and ash rose to the sky, broken by sudden flashes of lightning. A similar series of eruptions now could displace thousands, wreck villages, send dust into the air, endangering aircraft and cause a tsunami in the lake that could inundate surround villages. All towns around the volcano can be affected. The Taal volcano is on alert level 2 since February 2021, and here are the latest right now. This is a notice of elevated increase in seismic activity at Taal volcano. Alert level 2, increased unrest, is currently maintained over Taal volcano, but is under constant evaluation. This notice of elevated unrest is based on the following monitoring parameters: shallow volcanic tremor episodes, 2015 since February 13, 2021, and a total of 734 low-frequency volcanic earthquakes, high sulfur dioxide gas emission with peak at 1,184 tons, day on March 21, 2021. Ongoing slight ground deformation of Taal Volcano Island, TVI, and main crater region. These parameters indicate that magma has been migrating across shallow depths beneath TVI, increasing the possibilities of magmatic eruption. Entry into TVI, Taal's Permanent Danger Zone or PDZ, especially the vicinities of the main crater and the Dankastula fissure, and occupancy and boating on Taal Lake must be strictly prohibited. Local government units are advised to continuously assess and strengthen the preparedness of previously evacuated barangays around Taal Lake in case of renewed unrest. DustFivolks is closely monitoring Taal volcano's activity, and any new significant development will be immediately communicated to all stakeholders.